Esteemed audience knows that we can't get out of here without me asking, because I ask everybody. Meera, have you ever seen a flying saucer and or a ghost?
I have not yet seen either. Have you?
Yes, I have seen what I believe to be a ghost, and I have attempted to tell that story on this show a couple of times, and it's not appropriate for a middle grade audience. And every time I've attempted, I've cut it out. But it's enough to make me go, clearly. Well, hosting this show, like I said, I'm talking to the most brilliant, wonderful people on earth, and I've heard so many compelling ghost stories that, like, oh, these aren't dummies, these aren't crazies I'm talking to. These are smart, genuinely brilliant people that have just in many cases written a book that I've very much enjoyed before I'm talking to them, and who have also seen a ghost. So I went from maybe they're ghosts, maybe they're not at the start of the show, to now I'm 100% team ghost. That's
Awesome.
obviously a thing. Just too many brilliant witnesses have now told me ghost stories that's got to be true.
What about flying saucer?
Flying saucers, I'm 100% on. I had seen one. My grandmother saw one when I was very young, and my grandmother would not lie to me. And that story I can tell briefly. She was driving home from Illinois here to Indiana, and she got a speeding ticket. And so the conjecture has always been, this is the bullcrap story she told my grandpa for why they had to pay a speeding ticket. But she said that a ball of light came and flew up alongside of the car and just kept pace with her for about 20 miles. And so she went faster and faster, and she couldn't keep she couldn't shake it, and finally it just lost interest and flew off. And she continued to go because she was so freaked out, and she was just flooring it all the way to Indiana, and eventually she got stopped. And when she told me that story, my grandmother loved a good joke, and she was all about, if there was a magic trick and we could have some fun, she would play along. She was on board with, yeah, of course Santa Claus is real. Why would you ever think otherwise? But when she told that story, she was reluctant about it, and she was nervous, and you could see that, oh, this is a traumatic thing that really happened to you, and you don't like talking about it. I suspect part of the only reason she told anybody that it ever happened was because she had that stupid speeding ticket that provided the evidence that something had come up. If not for that, she might have just gone home, and when everyone said, hey, how was the trip, she said, fine, and just shut it down. And by the next day, she'd have convinced herself that that was something that didn't happen, and even if it did happen, we're never going to talk about it. But because of that ticket, the truth came out. And I learned that at a young age, and I was like, oh, this is for 100% for certain a thing that happened. And if it happened to you, I bet it happened to other people. Now that what the Pentagon has released on information that they're actively working on recovered flying saucers, I don't know why this is still a point of conjecture. Like, I used to ask people, do you believe in flying saucers? It doesn't matter. It's a thing. We're past that. Now I just want to know if you've seen one.
So, but you saw one too?
No, I haven't. I've seen some weird things, but nothing that I could definitively say was anything other than a misinterpreted plane. It's on my bucket list. I would love to see one before I go. And the rated disclosure is coming. I think we're all going to see them before too terribly long. So
excellent.
That's the topic for the show. But yeah, no, just there's enough smoke that there for me. There's no doubt that there is some kind of fire. There's just too many brilliant people on record about things that they've seen. And an argument that bums me out is not bums me out, that annoys me is the argument I heard Steven Spielberg of all people make, director of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, say that, well, I wonder where are all now that everybody's got a cell phone in their pocket, where are all the videos of flying saucers? And I heard that, I was like, have you been on YouTube? It's like the second most popular video category. You can watch montages of flying saucers on YouTube that people have recorded with their phones and other devices. They're like, well, why do they come out blurry? It's like, well, if you watch any sporting event and they're trying to film just a ball from, a couple of a few feet away, they're still using the most advanced telescopic camera ever. And your cell phone, if you try to film a street light or a star at night, it's crap.
Yeah,
so
totally.
A lot of the videos are blurry, but there's so many of them, and there are so many reputable people that have come out, presidents who've come out and said that, yes, this is absolutely a thing, that it would be shocking to me if it were to be revealed that it were not a thing, not that anyone could ever make that pronouncement. But if they did, I'd be like, really? And if they did, if that were to happen, I would still not regret the time I spent enjoying and entertaining the idea that maybe there would be. But it's too bad that turned out not to be true, but what a lovely story.